All right. Looks like we are now recording and live. Good to go there. Martin Escobedo. 1 minute, guys. Hmm. All right. We are here. We are live. I hear Nico. I hear him. All's well here, here. What the heck happened to ETH? Yeah, a lot of things happened to a lot of things. Right. Wow. All right, guys, let's get to it. All right, so on the daily time frame here on TradingView, you can see we have dropped all the way down to this level that I already had drawn from, a year ago, basically. This is the daily time frame. We hit it, and see this yellow line, this upward trending line right here. This is the long running. I didn't think we were going to come down this low, really, but this is the long running uh, support and resistance line. Let me go to the weekly so you can see the whole thing. All the way back to January or June of 2011, right here. It was resistance, resistance, support, 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 support. Support. Let me get rid of some of these other things so you can see it. Support, support, and support. It's hitting it right now. And that's just one of many. Obviously, there's another. I have this moved. Let me just put this right here. This was a upward trending support line from, if we go back far enough, and if I touch it, let me get rid of the EMA so you can really see this. If I touch it to the bear market bottom right here at 15.5, and I touch the bottoms of all these, and I hit these wicks, we already went through this, hit that wick. We hit support there, and we hit support here, and then fell through it. We already did that like a month ago. And then we come down to where we're at now, and we hit this line. And it's kind of trying to teeter on that. It's not really sure what it's trying to do, but it looks like it might go through. It looks like it went through, wicked down to the 80K, 80,500 zone. That was like last week, and then bounced a couple weeks ago, bounced all the way up to 93, where we just were, and now is falling back below. If we go to a lower time frame, it looks a lot more drastic. This big drop that we had overnight, right? Well, right here, rather, because we were climbing. And we were climbing from this low down here in a nice upward trending support. We had a nice upward trending support there after breaking out of this downward trending resistance, basically, depending on where you hold this. Basically had a couple different, this is a different chart, so I'm trying to redraw these, but I had a couple different downward trending support and resistance levels, almost very similarly to a falling wedge. Here is the all-time high for Bitcoin right here, 126. And then we started dropping. If I put this to, maybe here. We did have a falling wedge, and we were riding back up to the top of it right here. We were getting back up to this wedge, to the top of this downward trending resistance, and we just couldn't, and fell through. Remember I was saying we need to get above and hold above 90. We got above 90 for a minute, but we could not hold above it and fell right below. And this was just, let me go back to, hold on a second, guys. Let me go back over here, move this over here. If we go back into the signal channel, I can't remember where it was, but week ago, here we go. BTC broke out of the downward trending resistance. It broke out of the downward trending resistance to the upside. This was 11/26, so before Thanksgiving. Red line breaking the 90K, hit 91, that's bullish. Next stop is 100. Happy Thanksgiving. I think before that, I posted that it needs to get and hold above 90. In order to get to the next level. I might have did it after that one. I apologize, guys. Breaking the 90K. XRP also broke to the upside. That one also broke a nice bull flag to the upside and created another one. I had this arrow drawn because that would have been where it should have gone up to. Broke resistance again to the upside. That was the next resistance. So after breaking this red line, downward trending resistance, it came up and hit the next one, broke that, started to climb up to about 92. And XRP still winding into apex breakout is imminent. When I posted that yesterday, I was expecting the breakout to be to the upside, and it just dropped drastically. BTC and XRP both dumping, dropping, watching now. And that was Bitcoin's drop off of the ledge. You can see the upward trending support broke to the upside of this downward trending channel inside the upward trending channel, held as support a couple times, expecting it to climb up to here, drop the other direction. Same with XRP, just fell right out. 80% of the way through the apex, breakout was imminent. That's what I said. And it did break out imminently. It just went down instead of up. And BTC next support looks like around 83, 84. Remember, I said on the live, it was on the live Zoom. If BTC drops below 90K and holds, confirms the retest or resistance, I'll be short. We could bounce to retest it. But if we wake up in the morning under 80, that will be a different story. Obviously, we did not wake up under 80, which is good. But it is still creeping and crawling, downward trending. Couple good things, however. Let's look at the RSI and the stochastic RSI. We do have let me just look at Market Cipher while I have it up. We do have some uncertainty here. As you can see, we got a red line, green, red dot, green line, red dot, green dot, red dot in a row on the one out. We have downward trending money flow coming out, but there is a crest. There is a wave. You see the light blue part there, and it is curving, starting to curve. So you're waiting for the curve to crest, meaning this looks like an upside down wave. You're waiting for it to crest where the light blue gets less and less and less and less, and then stops in a corner like that. That's when you'll see a green dot. That'll be time to enter long. I'm going to guess that it might be this line right here at 80,500 again, coming down to retest this low. Double bottom, bounce. Hopefully that will be the case. If not, I just extend the bottom trending, the bottom support line out. And where does that bring us? It brings us to the next support level, which is right here at the 70, right about there at 73.8 to 74.5, which was the previous major low. So here first, that was the support right there at 80,500. That was also support here. Boom, 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 and resistance here. And we hit it here and bounced. And this could just be a quick double bottom. We might not even go that low. And it's very possible that we don't, because that would just be a higher low in the grand scheme of things. This is just a small little channel inside of a bigger channel, inside of a much bigger channel on the way up, right? So, when we're on these lower time frames, things look differently. But if we zoom out, but however, this yellow line was broken, and that is a long running support line going all the way back to 2011. Support and resistance. So we are underneath that. Could we bounce and come back up? Yes, guys, this could just be a big bear trap. Bear traps are common, and yet generally what it means is that it's temporary and there will be a sharp recovery phase once all the weak hands are knocked out, and once everybody's pissed off and fed up and thinking that crypto's a scam, and they got liquidated, or they got stopped out, or they're longs, and the liquidation heat map shows a bunch of money missing. 200 million, I think, got liquidated on this little drop right here already. And or 200 billion, I can't remember which one. It is always a large amount, maybe 200 million. And but this is the next support level right here at 80,500, same as it was here. We could see a bounce there and stay inside this channel. We haven't broke out of this channel yet, this downward trending channel. And if we break this line, the 80,500, the next one down is the 73.8 to 74 zone. If we go over here, right there. In fact, I'm going to make it a zone rather than a line. I'm going to make it a price range rather than a line. Mute yourself out if you're not talking to me. I'm going to go to 73.8 up to 74.5 right there. That is the zone. There's a reason. I'll just get rid of that line for now. The reason is because the previous all-time high, was 68, and that was back in 2021, back here. Right here. Let me just get rid of some of this stuff here. Right here. It was 65K here, and we wicked above it here to 67, and we wicked above it here to 68.8. And we never held support above that level. Never held support. You can see we wicked above it and came back and then retested underneath. So right here is basically the magic number, which is the previous all-time high. And here in this bull market, we came up and we hit it as resistance. We broke through, held as support for the first time, and then went up to 73.8. And then we basically consolidated for 280 days. This is a giant bull flag pattern. And it took 7 months approximately for us to break out of this. And we came all the way down. And when we finally broke out, guys and gals, when we finally did break out, we retested, and then we popped right back up to 73.8 resistance. And then we broke through that and went up to 107, 108. 109, and then came all the way back down to retest that. But we didn't quite hit 73.8. We hit 74.5 here, but that was definitely a retest of this previous resistance as support. Before we broke out of that, to do that, we came all the way down to 48.9 right here. That was the retest of this previous resistance. Boom. And support, if I wanted to make this a price range, which it really is. It's not just a thin line, guys. It's like a price range. It's like an area. And we came down, and if I move this all the way up to the top of that, you'll see this was resistance. We broke through right here and held support right there. See that red line? Boom. We come up and hit resistance again, and then finally break through, and we never retested this until here, where we broke through and hit the bottom, previous resistance, and then double bottomed here on previous resistance, the top of this zone. Boom. And then we broke out. Same thing here. Boom. Hit the resistance, broke out, came down and retested here, boom, broke out. This was a big falling wedge. Nice falling wedge here. They usually are bullish and they break to the upside. This one wicked below both the bottom trending support line and the upward trending resistance line, hit that zone, broke out, came up here, hit resistance. Let me get rid of some of my scribble here. And when it hit this resistance here, guys and gals, I'm just doing this so that you can see why this happens. Boom, resistance. We come back and retest here as support, boom, before climbing out. But this resistance was this resistance, support, that red arrow right there, support, resistance, support, and resistance all the way back. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, breakthrough, support. We bring that forward and look what we have here. We have support. We wick down to it, support, bang, bounced up to the top of the downward trending resistance, hit it again, boom, fell through. Now we have not retested that yet. We were on our way up to do it. But we fell through instead. So this is where we're at right now. That's a daily candle and it's big and it's still kind of downward trending, it looks like. Let's look at, this is not good on the daily, guys. We had a green candle down here and the money flow did not even get up to the center line. It did not break through to the upside like this. Break through and then big pump. Break through, big pump. It just comes up and then starts to curve back down with another red dot. That's when it broke this line. And if we get rid of this and look at the RSI, let's see what's going on. On the stochastic RSI on the daily, we got a blue line crossing the orange line to the downside. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly, this is positive. I mean, this is still bullish. I mean, it is still, I mean, every time that blue line tries to cross that orange line, it bounces off and comes down further. But it did cross to the upside right here. And that was this green candle. Boom. It did cross. And now it's kind of going sideways again. It's trying to wonder. It's wondering what to do. It's still uncertain. But we are way down here, guys. We are way down at the bottom. You don't get any lower. So to me, we are oversold, which means that at any moment now could this flounder here for a little while and then go up? Yes. Generally speaking, it's not going to go much lower. It's not going to go any lower. That's the low. You see the dotted line going straight across. We are bouncing on the floor. But there are other things in the charts. And this could be it. This could be the big move to the downside. Obviously, we have bearish divergence going on for a while here. We had lower highs here and higher highs here on the RSI. And this is the floor, and we fell below it. Now, I would say the 35 is where I told you guys to watch out for. We need to stay above it. It's kind of like a interesting little area right here. We're bouncing on it. On the RSI. Sometimes we've gotten all the way to it. Look at this. All the way to it. Went below it and then climbed out. Let's just look at what happens on the price when we're down here. That was a huge, sharp drop. Way down when we got below that. When we got below, I mean, we come down to the 35. That's all of this dropping right to there. And then boom, below this line. That was that big drop to the downside. That's bear market. And then climb out. Let's look at another example. Below the line right here. We're coming down to it. We bounce on it. This could be where we're at in the grand scheme of things, guys. This is the last bull market. We hit 64.5. We come down all the 50, 60%, drop down here to like 28K, bounce all the way back up to 68, come all the way back down to this level, bounce. This is a attempt to get out. And it's attempt to try to get back up. And this was a lower high, basically a giant head and shoulders. And that was the beginning of the bear market. And as you can see right here, once we fell out of this upward trending, recovery phase here, it was a sharp decline down. And we not only fell back down to the support, but we fell through it. And let's just look down here. As soon as we fell out of that red line above, look at this dotted line going straight down to the RSI. As soon as we broke below the yellow, which is the moving average, and we got down to this red line and went below it. Once we went below that, guys, it was, well, down. That was bear market. This took from about here, which was May of 2022 to here was November. 6 months. This whole thing from the top was a year. So how many months have already gone by from the top? Let's take a date range from here to where we're at. 63 days already, 2 months. So this is kind of important, guys. We already fell kind of through the floor. We're already below the moving average, the yellow line, and we are kind of bouncing down here. Now, we are at the bottom of the stochastic RSI. We are bouncing on this line right now. Now, let's look at times when we've hit that and bounced right off, like right here. This was a big move to the upside. And then we started to pump up and we just drastically dropped. By the way, this was huge. This was back in 2019 right here. And we had this huge dump. Look at that. Right before a ballistic parabolic move to the upside, 63% drop. Crazy. That was from 10,408 all the way back down to 3,500. And then we immediately climbed out to new all-time highs. Right down to that yellow line that we're talking about, the one that we're touching right now. So look what happened here. We did actually dip our toe below that line, and then we immediately climbed out. We're touching that line right now. It has happened before. I can go find a couple. Here's one right here where we touched the line, but way below the moving average, just like here. And this was also bearish divergence here. Very similarly, right here, where we came all the way down to that line like we are now, and we bounced. But the recovery was not. We did not make a higher high. So that would be like us bouncing here and coming all the way back up to here and continuing bearish divergence. The price would probably be a new all-time high, 140, 150. But we might not make a higher high here on the RSI. That's what we need right now to save us. We kind of need that bounce. And now would be the time. And not only that, guys, but when we go back in history and look at when this happened before, right? Where was I just talking about? Right about here was when we hit it. That was December, right there. December, November going into December. We come down to it, boom, December 13, right here at the bottom. And then going into January, we pumped for another rally, but it was a lower high. And we were in bear market. We just didn't know it. This pump right here went into January all the way to March, but it was a lower high than the all-time high, which made this the high. But right here, you didn't know it was going to because you thought this was going to keep going. But then once we fall and go into a bear market, we realize we're in the bear market. Half of the bear market's already over because we start and that could be the same thing here, guys. 126 could be the high. I don't know if it is or not, but 126 could have been the high, and we're already down to 84K, 85K. If this turns out to be the bear market and we can't get back above, then this was the high, but it'd be too late for us to short the high because we don't know that the bull market's over yet. And it may not be. We could not easily, but we could still recover and come back up in here. It will take something to happen, but there's a lot of scary things happening. Even Michael Saylor is in trouble. I mean, because he could be delisted if it gets down below 80. And then what will happen when that panic sets in? Now, the government, on the other hand, is promising to buy 1 million Bitcoin, but over the next 5 years. So that's not going to be all at once. And there's a lot of, it's a very strange time because there's a lot of positive catalysts that should be getting us to 170, 180 in Bitcoin right now and bringing everything up. And there's a lot of weird things going on in the economy. The economy is slumping right now, and there's a lot of people struggling out there. There's a lot of problems. The stock market is kind of crashing as well along with this. Anybody have that? Let me just pull that up as well just so I can see. Let me just look at pull up my S&P and all that stuff. I mean, I'm down. My stock account is down. Let's look at mutual funds, ETFs, futures. Yeah, that's all kind of. Dow is down $235. Let's look at NASDAQ is down $45. S&P down 16. What are we at right now? S&P still seems a little bit high. I don't know if this is accurate. Where was that? 68, 68.32. Markets don't seem to be really responding to this most recent crypto dump. But one thing I do know for sure, guys, is this is when most people freak out when these things happen. And this is when the big players come in and clean up all the mess. And so I know it's difficult to hold during a drop. It's difficult to, a lot of people, your intuitive mind says, get out, stop the bleeding. This is why in investing in general, you have to be counterintuitive. And that's most rich people, the people who end up buying at the right time and getting out at the right time, they are counterintuitive because it goes against logic sometimes. When the market is pumping and we're in euphoria, we have not hit euphoria stage yet. There is no way. The pi cycle, guys, is so far away right now. It would put us at like 170, 180 on Bitcoin. And now, does that mean that just because throughout history, the pi cycle has called every top of the market every single time so far, does that mean it's going to this time? It doesn't guarantee it will, but since it has every other time, should we not hold any weight to that? So then we say, okay, well, if we're going to say that the pi cycle is accurate and it's nowhere near a top, in this cycle. Why is it dumping? Because that's what the market does. It goes up and down, and it, it shakes out weak hands and all this stuff. And it's just what it's been doing. It's what it always does. But a lot of people say this time is different. This time is different. And it's hard to say this time is different. I mean, it's easy to say it, but it's hard to believe it when it never is. But this time is different, isn't it? I mean, we do have a lot of different things going on. We should be at 200,000 Bitcoin. ETH should be at 10, 15,000. XRP should be at $5, $10, $20. I mean, all these things should have already happened, but they're not. They haven't yet. And I think that there is a manipulative reason for that. The powers that be are suppressing things or prolonging things or interfering somehow, some way, or a lot of people say Trump is doing the strategic thing and, he's a genius and he's doing all this stuff behind the scenes to switch the money supply. Listen, I think Trump is a smart guy, but I don't think he's a freaking rocket scientist. He's got hundreds of people in his ear. He's got the best of the best, the smartest people in the world helping him. I don't think he was right when he was telling everybody to get vaccines and rushing the vaccine thing. I don't think he was right about a lot of things. But he's got a way of doing things. Do the tariffs help? Not in the short term. Could we have, and he did say there's going to be pain. It's not going to be pleasant before it gets better. And that's part of it. Guys, if you're a woman or if you're a guy and you can envision this, a woman steps on your foot with a high heel on. She's wearing 6-inch stilettos and she steps on your foot and immediately steps off of it. Did the pain go away right away when she stepped off of it? No. It's going to hurt for a while. But the thing that's causing the pain is no longer there. Right? So, but it takes time to heal. And that's the thing that is causing the pain. There's only sometimes where I will not send something to voicemail, and this is one of them. Hold on one second. All right, hold on, guys. I'll be right there. All right, sorry, guys. All right, so basically what I was saying is that I think the Band-Aid was ripped off and there's pain, but it's not, it's in the healing process, but there could be a little bit of more pain before things get better in the economy. And as far as the crypto market is concerned, some people don't believe in bull and bear market cycles. Some people think that the cycles are over. Some people think that there's not going to be any more cycles after this bull market. And that all could be true. But until I see it, I have to go with what has been the case up to this point. That's me personally. That's my logic. I have to stick to what I'm, what I've seen over and over and over again. And, this is something that tells a lot to me. I don't really care what anybody thinks or says about it, but I mean, if you look at the 12-month time frame on the 12-month chart, every time we had a bull market top, I mean, here we are back in 2013. That's 2013's bull market. This is 2017's bull market. This is 2021's bull market. So we have bull market top, 1, 2, 3, 4 years to the next top. 1, 2, 3, 4 years to the next top. 1, 2, 3, 4 years to the next top. We are in that fourth candle now. So far for the last 1, 2, 3 bull market cycles, this being the fourth one, that is a 100% of the time over the last 3 bull market cycles, whether you want to call them bull market and bear market cycles or not, this has been the case. 3 years up, 1 year down, 3 years up, 1 year down, 3 years up, 1 year down, 3 years up. Now, since that is kind of factual, can't really argue with it, let's just look at where we're at. We're in this candle right now. Let me get rid of some of this stuff so you can see it better. This candle right here is the one we're in. And the top of it was 126 right here. That's where we went up to at one point. That was the bull market top so far. And this candle's come down. Now, also something to notice is that every one of these bull market top candles has been green. It wasn't until this candle printed that the next candle turned red. This candle printed, the next candle turned red. This candle printed, the next candle turned red. But this candle is red, the one that we're currently in. But so that doesn't mean it's going to stay red. We still have 30 days and 7 hours left of this candle, which is December 31st. So this candle could go up or down over the next 30 days. And my guess is that it's going to go back up. When will it turn green? It needs to get up higher than this candle right here. So it needs to get above 93.5 again, the price, probably right around 90, 94. It almost flipped. It almost flipped today earlier when it was up there. Needs to get above that. And then it doesn't mean it's going to go past 126, but if it gets up here over the next 30 days and then the next candle opens, then we can still say that this was the top 126. But if this candle goes way up high, all the way up to 160, 170, 180, and then comes down, like we have a euphoric phase here over the next 30 days, which can happen. All of these big pumps happened in 30 days. So, and we are just now going to December, and from November to December is usually the big pump to the upside. So, nothing out of the ordinary yet, really, until this candle prints, meaning the next candle starts. Once that next candle starts, guys, that's historically been. Doesn't mean this time isn't different. It just means historically, it's this red candle going into the next year. So far, 100% of the time. So why should we say this time is different? Until this time is different, To me, it's not yet. It could be. I hope it is. So what would make it different? I mean, what would make it different is we break this upward trending support and we don't bounce and we don't have a big rally at the end of the year and we start to drop below the 80 and then we're back into the high 70s. That's different. That would be different. That would be a change of the norm not in a good way, not in a way that has usually happened. So, and also the opposite could happen. We bounce and we have a big rally. And going into, let's just say we go up to 126 again, right here before the end of this year. And we break that. And then the 12-month candle prints at the end, January 1st, January 2nd. And then we keep pumping in January and we go higher than that candle. That would be different. That hasn't happened before. So in other words, this candle, we go up a little higher, and then the next candle starts, and that candle goes higher than this candle. That has never happened before. So that would be different. So when something different actually happens, I will say this time is different. And I actually hope that does happen. I hope that this time is different finally actually happens. But until it does, I have to look at the charts, guys, and tell you that what we're seeing right now is kind of bearish. And then if you add that to, the tariffs and the Venezuela issues and the Trump's comments and China tariffs and all these things that have kind of limited us, then you look at, wait a minute, there's something else going on behind the scenes. We have a possible switch over from the financial systems, the Federal Reserve, everything. Guys, it's possible that the Federal Reserve doesn't even exist anymore, that Trump's already done away with it, and we're getting a switch over to a new digital dollar, and we're going into crypto. And I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Trump family, the entire Trump family was debanked when they were trying to throw the book at Trump, and he was in court and he had 70 some felonies, and they were trying to put him in jail so they could get Biden in office. They were debanked. They couldn't get loans for anything. The whole family. Billionaires who were in bed with all the banks, and the banks even came to court and testified in Trump's favor, saying he never did anything wrong. He didn't overextend himself. He paid us back the loans. Remember, they were trying to throw the book at him for fraudulent, loan valuations and defrauding the banks. The banks came to his defense and said that he paid back those loans. There was never any problem. And they did their own appraisals on these properties. They don't just rely on Trump saying the property is worth this. They go, listen, I'm in real estate. The banks don't take your word for shit. They send their own appraisers out. So that whole thing was a scam. And Trump won in court and sued everybody and is winning all the lawsuits, in case you haven't noticed. That's why they call him Teflon Don. Nothing sticks. They keep trying. And this is not just since presidency. This is his whole life. I mean, his whole career, as long as I've been alive, Trump has been in the spotlight doing crazy shit, getting sued, suing people all the time, and winning, and winning, and winning, and never losing. Some people say, well, he filed bankruptcy. He must not be a smart businessman. If you say that, you're not a smart businessman. Because when you have 500, 600 companies and one doesn't work, that's what you do. You file Chapter 13, you file bankruptcy. That doesn't mean you're bankrupt. That doesn't mean all your other companies are bankrupt. That's just that one entity. And you do that to cut a loss. That's the smart thing to do. And that's what smart business people do. And by the way, Trump, a lot of people are like, oh, he put so many people out of work when he did that. God, it drives me crazy when I hear these people. First of all, when he opened up Atlantic City and invested hundreds of millions of dollars of not only his own money, but borrowed money that he was on the hook for, he put all those people to work. He gave them jobs. He provided the opportunity. And it lasted a few years. And when it failed, all they had to do was get new jobs. He had to file Chapter 13 and owed hundreds of millions of dollars. He took the risk. That's what risk takers do. If it would have worked out, he would have been a hero. But when it doesn't, people come and slam him for, being a bad businessman. But the reality is, guys, is that's what entrepreneurs do. They take risks. That's how they get richer. And so I feel bad for people losing their jobs, but they weren't mad at Trump. They loved Trump, those people back then. I don't know if you guys ever really watched the biography or the whole story of it, but they interviewed all these people and they worshipped him at the time. They saw him walking through the casino. They stood in line to shake his hand. He was a hero back then. Now, is he an arrogant, asshole? Probably. I don't care. That doesn't have nothing to do with me. Does he treat his family good? I think so. They all talk very good about him, except for his sister and people like that who he cut off or tried to hurt him, and they got money from other people to write books about him and say bad things. He's a very vindictive kind of person. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point is that what he's trying to do with the economy, and he's trying to basically save the US, according to the resources and the sources that I've heard, from this what would have ended up being a socialist, possibly even heading towards communism. A lot of people can't even fathom that, right? Because even the Democrats seem to talk about the Constitution a lot, but they seem to vote in socialist, like the mayor, for instance, in New York, the governor, the new guy in charge there. He's now telling his people, listen, sorry guys, nothing is free. Please donate money to my administration. You just can't do it. So, and that's where things were headed. So Trump's trying to come in and fix all this and get us back on the gold standard, get us back on some kind of backed currency, maybe digital, wipe out the debt, using crypto, using Bitcoin strategy, using the Bitcoin reserve. Maybe XRP comes to the rescue for the financial situation, and things change here. But during this whole shakeup and during all this time, yeah, it can be painful. The values go down, inflation happens, interest rates go up, people lose jobs, the economy, AI steps in, all kinds of crazy stuff is happening, and people blame Trump for it. But the reality is this what you're experiencing now in the economy was started, years and years before Trump. He's just coming in trying to, do things that he knows that needs to happen in order to get things back on track. And that takes time. Nothing happens overnight. People 2 months into office, I don't see egg prices change yet. Gas is still high after 2 months. I mean, come on. People are so ignorant. Pisses me off. But anyway, that's another. Say that again.
So-called Trump.
Talking to me? All right. If you're talking to me, come off mute. If you want to ask a question, feel free. But if you're not, just stay on mute, please. So anyway, guys, long story short is that could we be done with this bull market? Sure. Are we? Do I think we are? I don't think so. I think that there's a lot of catalysts and barometers that haven't been hit yet. And I will show you one right here. And that is this. This is the pi cycle. Whenever there is a pi cycle cross, that's the top. These lines cross, boom, that's the top. These lines cross, boom, that's the top. We're so far away from crossing right now that, by the way, I'm just showing you a little fraction of it. But when you go back far enough, guys, every single time it was the top, every time. Even when we came up and double topped here in the last bull market, the cross was back here and it never held above. It never got higher. And that was the beginning of the bear market. Now, here's something interesting. Look how far apart these are here. And then we went into a bear market, but the cross already happened here. We have not had any crosses this whole bull market cycle, and we're far away from it now. So that leads me to believe that if all things considered, all things stay the same, pi cycle still works, we could have a big parabolic move to the upside, and this could cross, this could come back up, this is going to come down, and we could see a cross somewhere up here, and that would bring us up to somewhere up here in the 180K range. That would be 100% pump to the upside from where it's at right now. Is that likely to happen? Is the question. But let's just go look at right before the pi cycle crossed last time. We were far apart. October, November, getting closer, December. And look what happened in December. Boom. Boom. All the way going into like February. Back here, November. Pi cycle getting ready to cross. November, going into December, boom, big pump to the upside cross. November, November and December, boom. Huge pumps to the upside every time. So why not this time? This could just be one of these little, 30% pullbacks like this before the big rally. So there's that. I'm trying to be optimistic here, guys, trying to show you all the potentials and possibilities. And then there's the opposite, obviously if we break this up, we're trending support line, which we are kind of breaking right now, but we could get, it needs to hold below for a whole day. We got it 1 day and 7 hours left basically on the 4 day. Hold on a second, I'm on the 4 day. Let me go down to the daily. On the daily, we're touching it right now. We're just bouncing. We bounced on it and we're just retesting it right now. So this could just be the big shakeout. Could be the big bear trap, faking everyone out, scaring people out so that they can get your crypto. There's how many, anybody know how many XRP ETFs went live in the last 2 weeks? Hundreds of millions get ready to pour in from the institutions. Fact. Those are facts. That's going to happen.
And it looks like we're still waiting on the Clarity Act to pass to the Senate.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the storm before the calm. This is the calm before the storm, as far as I'm concerned, guys. It's gonna get interesting. And the people who benefit the most are the people who just don't panic and sit on your hands sometimes and just wait it out. As long as you're sitting on a big bag of coins, as long as you're not selling and panic selling, because this is panic selling, guys. These are people, a lot of this stuff is panic selling. These are people getting out because they just can't stomach it anymore. They can't handle it. Can't handle the kitchen. Can't handle the heat. And then those are the ones that always regret it. We've all been there. We've all been there where we've all been there where we panic sold, and then usually turns right after we sell, right? And we're like, damn it, now it's back up where I was. I would have been in profit by now. So if you have any hodling accounts, if you're sitting on crypto anywhere, I don't care where, Coinbase, crypto.com, cold storage wallet, Gemini, Kraken, wherever, doesn't matter. And you're thinking long term, that's the reason why you have that holding account, then you just have to hold, even if we're going to the bear market. Now, some people say, yeah, but wouldn't it be smarter to sell now and then buy back at the bottom of a bear market? Yeah, if you have a crystal ball. That sounds smart, right? That sounds like a smart thing to do. But what if you sell now in anticipation of a bear market, and you plan on buying back at a much lower price, and it never goes down lower, and it just pumps up from here? You're going to be mad you did that, right? So in hindsight, yeah, if you could go back and buy all the tops and sell all the lows, or vice versa, sell all the tops and buy all the lows, you'd be a genius. The problem is we're kind of in that little phase, that little window right now where this may not be the bottom, or we may not even be on the way to the bottom yet. We might have another run, and we have enough time to do it. We have 31 days, 30 days or so till the end of the year. Now, that doesn't mean that's it. I mean, we could certainly go into January. In other words, we could pump all the way up to 180, 190. And then the next candle on the 12-month chart opens right here, a little lower. So we go up to 190, let's just say. And then we come down all the way to here, and this candle opens. And this candle could go up and down. This is a yearly time frame. Let's just say I'm on the yearly. And this candle could go up and down, up, down, up, down for like the next 6 months before the next candle opens. And then that candle is lower. And then, then that's the bottom of the bull market or the bear market. And then the next candle opens, and then we start to climb back up again. But this candle, the next candle going from January all the way to the end of 2026, it could pump up just as high. All I'm saying is historically, it's never got higher than this one. If we go back and look at the 12-month time frame, that next candle just so far. Now, again, guys, this time could be different. I know I got to keep repeating myself. I don't want anybody to come back and say, but Nico, you said this time is different. No, this time could be different. But so far, historically, it hasn't happened where after this candle closes and the next candle opens, these candles have gone up, but never higher than this one. This candle opened, went all the way up to here, went all the way up to 68K, came all the way down to 46K. The next candle opened, and you can see the little wick. It went up a little bit, but never higher than that, and then it dropped. This one went all the way up to, let me just move that so I can see it right there. You can see this candle opened and then went up. You can see the wick, but it didn't get higher than this one. So this candle, let's just look. The one we're in right now is the highest, and it is this candle. It is the 12-month time frame. We do have 30 days left, and it is the highest one. It just so happens to be red right now. That's another thing that has never happened. So that's why I think it may not close red. These candles might have come down here and then went up here before the next candle opened. Doesn't mean they went up here and came down here and then opened. It could have went all the way down to here and came all the way back up to here before this happened. So this candle, the one we're in right now, I know it's hard to see with all my drawings. Let me get rid of them. Just hide them. This one right here went all the way up to here, and right now is down to here. It could come all the way up to 115, 118, and may not make it to 126, and then the next candle opens. I don't know. But so far, this candle, which is the 12-month final bull market candle, just like this one, just like this one, just like this one, these never closed red. And we have 30 days left for this one to close. So in the next 30 days, it needs to get back above. It needs to get back above 94K to turn green again. And that is one reason. And the pi cycle is so far, the gap is so wide, it needs to come together. So I have a feeling, guys, that something miraculous is about to happen.
Nico, can I ask you a question? Have you heard about the Japanese carry trade unraveling, and what do you think, what kind of effect do you think it's going to have on crypto?
Yeah. Guys, if you're not familiar with the reverse carry trade, the Japanese yen and the debt that all the outstanding debt that the Japanese has against the US dollar, then it's going to cause shock waves around the world. It is unraveling. It is happening. It's not a theory. It's not something that they think could happen. It's happened. It's happening. And what does it mean? It could mean that we have a shitstorm getting ready to happen. And Trump might be, not just Trump, but all of the financial geniuses in the world that Trump has surrounded himself with, and all the people and all the experts and the financial experts. Trump is not the one at the helm just making all these decisions. He's got an army of smart people that he listens to and consults with. And the one guy he doesn't like was the Fed chairman, but they all know what's happening right now. And there's only a couple solutions when this happens. Anybody know what they are? Print more money, which deflates the value of the dollar. Print more money supply. That's what they've been doing. Whenever there's this kind of catastrophe around the world, that's what they've been doing, is just print more money. And then we wonder why things cost more and there's inflation and all this stuff. And we have all the depressions and recessions and all stuff. The other option is pay off the debt. Now there is a way to do that. Trump might have figured it out. And that is wipe the debt out by converting over to crypto and paying it off with Bitcoin instead. And using gold as a reserve, still using gold, but converting everything over into, like, let's say XRP. I'm using XRP as an example because it's more abundant and there's utility behind it. But there is a way, and that would eliminate. I mean, that would cause shockwaves around the world. It would make the US dollar the strongest again for maybe another 1,000 years. I don't know. But yeah, if the reverse carry trade, the Japanese reverse carry trade unfolds, we could really see economic collapse in the short term. And that would call in the need for this conversion over to digital currency. And that might be what they're about to do.
I was reading that because just what Japan had announced and what they were doing right now, that a lot of major investors was going to put their monies now into smaller crypto assets, whatever that one means.
Yeah. It's XRP, guys. That is the savior crypto right now. XRP, XLM, the ones that actually have something to do with the money supply and the financial systems. Those are the only ones I know of, really, that are going to be the ones that are probably going to be used to save this whole mess. And why wouldn't they be? I mean, Ripple is investing billions of dollars in infrastructure to do just that. Now, some people say, well, XRP is not Ripple and Ripple's not XRP, and Ripple could be doing all that, but that doesn't mean that XRP is going to go up. Okay. All right. It does, but that's okay. I don't want to argue with anybody. So there's a lot to it, guys. And I'm not the expert on reverse carry trade, but I do know that it's not good. And I do know that as the old saying, is it the roosters or the hens are coming home to roost? something is over.
Chickens.
Say again?
Chickens are coming
Chickens.
home.
Chickens coming home to roost. Yes. And so, in other words, the party is over. In other words, this whole mess, this whole time that all of us have been alive, we've been living in this print money society, and a lot of people don't even understand what it is. A lot of people think, mostly young people. Mostly young people are just, oh, I got money, I got cash. They're flashing cash and they think it means something. But really, it's just an IOU from the federal government, a Federal Reserve note, NOTE. If you look it up, it's just a note, and a note just means IOU. It's just like if you carry a note, the bank gives you a note when you finance a house or get a mortgage. You have a note on it. It means you owe the bank. And if you hold US dollars, the government owes you in equal to value of that dollar until one day that dollar is no longer valuable. And that has happened in other countries. People don't know it here in the United States because they never lived through it, but there have been other countries where the streets are littered with the currency that everyone used to hold so valuable because it became useless. It's Venezuela, one of them. Russia, happened in Russia also back in the 60s or 50s. I can't remember when. But yeah, guys, and it's just, the US is just the current leader, the current strongest dollar on the planet. But it wasn't always. And before it, there were dozens of other leading currencies in the world. And they tend to last about 100 to 150 years. And guess how long we've been the leader?
1,000.
They last what?
I think
That's 100.
Well, yeah, no, we haven't been the leader for 1,000 years. We haven't even existed for 1,000 years. We've been the leader for about 100 years. And so, the US dollar has been the strongest currency around for about 100, 110, 115 years, which is the limit so far. I mean, that's usually how long it takes. So a big change is happening is all I'm saying. And I don't really know what it is, but I do know that there is only one other option, and that is crypto. That is digital currency. And that is why there is, and it's all over the news, guys. It's like, if you really listen, they're talking about it every day. They're talking about the big switch, the big flip all the time on the networks, on the financial networks. And then you got people like Jay Claver and all these other ones that are supposedly insiders talking about it constantly, and what it means as far as crypto is concerned. Whether they turn out to be right or not is another story, but it definitely is crypto. It's just a matter of what is it going to be. Is it going to be a government-backed stable coin? Is it going to be XRP? Is it going to be Ripple? Is it going to be XRPL? Whatever it is, it's going to happen. Now, if you have $1 million cash in the bank, or 1,000 or $10 or whatever it is, it's still going to be there. You're not going to lose your money. So all the fear mongering that I see out there says, oh, you better get rid of your dollars. It's going to be useless. Whatever you have in the bank is what you have, and it'll be just converted over, and you're not going to even notice a difference. If you got 10,000 or 100,000 in the bank, when they make this big switcheroo, it's still going to show as 100,000 in the bank. It's just going to be programmed or calibrated to a new structure. And most people probably won't even notice the difference. Especially broke people. They don't know. They just go with whatever the government tells them. But with that being said, guys, we got interesting times ahead here. Let's look at ETH. ETH dropped pretty big, actually. ETH broke a long running, going all the way back to 2021. Well, I already have a yellow line there. This yellow line right here, we broke it, got above it, and I thought we were going to hold the support, and this was going to be the big catalyst that pushed ETH up into the stratosphere, and we started climbing to new all-time highs, and then it just came back below it. We do have somewhat of a upward trend here. I'm just going to make this an apex. We're back into this right now. So I would say that we'll probably stay in this until we break out back above that line. But we had resistance here. We got a little bit above it here, very similar to here. So this is a double top. And then we came back below and dropped all the way down here. We come up, we hit it, drop all the way back below. Hit it, break through, hold the support for a minute, and then break back below. So we're having a very hard time getting above that on ETH. But this has happened before, so let's just look. We had it happen here. We consolidated for a long time before finally breaking out to new all-time highs. Happened back here. Happened back here. As it's coming up. So we have these giant pullbacks, consolidation periods before breaking to new ground. So it's all just par for the course. I don't worry too much about it. I think everything's going to go up, especially these major ones: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, XLM, Cardano, probably. The question is can you stomach the turmoil? Can you stomach the ups and downs on the way? XRP went up to 95 cents, consolidated for a year and a half before breaking up to the upside. Now what are we doing? This was December 2024, and we're in December 2005. That's a year. Is it possible that it takes a few more months before we finally have that big break to the upside and we get up here into the 12, 13, 14, 70, 17, $20 range? and then we consolidate again sideways before we do it again. Yeah, that's how it works. But it's going to happen. So, I mean, mark my words, guys, whether you're here when it happens or whether you're still in this group listening and getting on these calls or not, I think we will see $100 XRP, $1,000 XRP, maybe even $10,000 XRP at one point in the future. So whether you got the stomach to hold on to what you got until that happens, it doesn't take long, guys. How many XRP do you need to be a millionaire at $10,000?
I'll still be here with you.
Great.
I was just gonna say that's what I'm so bullish about. Like tuning into all the Jay Clavers. I'm a part of his mastermind now, and I know he gives a lot of kind of sometimes seem like pie in the sky numbers, but like you said, it could happen sooner than later. He's pretty bullish on the next 5 years. And then there's another YouTube account if anyone wants to check it out, Crypto Sensei, where he just covers all the news. So it's a really good recap there. And, Brad Darlinghouse meeting with the administration multiple times. No one else is really involved. He was talking about like Solana and those others. XRP is always in the room. So pretty exciting stuff.
It really is. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but it hasn't done anything in 12 years. Oh, it has. You're just not seeing what's happening behind the scenes. It's doing some crazy things. Like it's investing billions and billions into infrastructure. It's getting set up for the big flip, for the big switch over. There's no other crypto that I know of that can do what it does and is investing billions. Oh, but they're dumping on their own people. I hear all these things. Yeah, but what are they doing with the money? Are they buying mansions and jets with it? No, they're reinvesting it into the infrastructure.
Hey, Nico, what do you know about the Japan's reverse carry trade?
We just kind of went over that. Did you?
I'm sorry, I'm late to the call. I'll catch the replay.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'm not an expert on reverse carry trade, but it's not good. It's not good for the overall economy, but that could be the reason why we have this big rush to switch over to digital currency. Trump will have to do something to save the economy because the US economy and almost all the economies will crash because of it. But there is a way out of it, and that is to pay off the US debt with, some kind of stabilized dollar backed by something, crypto or gold. And that's what it seems like this administration is trying to do. And I think that there's a couple things in Congress right now that they're working on that I think that the whole switcheroo could be imminent. It could be this month. It could be any time now. I think there was some talk about the 28th or the 22nd of November, then the 28th. Some decisions. There was government shutdown that delayed some things, but I think it's all in the works. But the reverse carry trade, guys, look it up, Google it. I'll try to post some information about it, but it's something that's been going on that has been in existence for a while, that if they defaulted or if they couldn't, if they couldn't pay their obligation, then it would unravel. It's an unraveling of a house of cards, guys. It's a house of cards. Everything's a house of cards. The debt, the government, everything. Somebody say, who we owe money to? Every government owes billions of dollars to someone else. The earth is in debt. The world is in debt. To who? To each other. Why can't we all just settle it? I told the story before, about the little town where the guy comes in to check into the hotel, and he asked if he can see the room, and the hotel clerk says, yeah, you can see the room, but you got to leave a deposit. So he leaves a $100 bill on the table, and he goes up to look at the rooms before he checks in. The guy, the hotel clerk says, man, takes that $100 bill, runs next door to the bar to pay his bar tab. The bartender at the bar tab owes the hardware store clerk $100 for his tab over there, so he runs across the street and gives them $100 and pays his tab. Now he's paid off. The guy who owns the hardware store runs over to the hooker across the street who he owes money to, pays her off. She takes the $100 bill back to the hotel clerk and pays him off for the rooms that he's been letting her use. The guy comes downstairs, says he doesn't want to stay at the hotel, takes his $100 bill back and walks out the door. Everybody in town has been paid off. There was no more money. So what are we doing? What's really going on with the money situation? You ever see those clips about Mo, Larry, and Curly, the Three Stooges? Hey, I think you owe me $20. And he gives him the 20. And then the other guy says, I think you owe me $20. He gives him the 20. And then, yeah, but you owe me $20. And he gives him the 20. And they're all settled. Like, it's kind of funny.
So wouldn't that lend something to actually knowing that governments can print money and they could just keep on printing, keep on printing, keep on printing? Wouldn't that seem like inflation would be something that's like a figment of our imagination if they can just keep doing it and doing it and doing it over and over and over and over again?
They have been, and that's a problem though, because the more money supply there's out there, the more the less valuable the dollar gets, the more expensive and the higher cost of living goes up because it takes more dollars to buy the same thing you used to be able to buy. It's like I used to tell people, for inflation and interest is technically impossible. It's impossible to charge somebody more than what they paid you or what they borrowed from you. So if I borrow $100 from you, how can I possibly pay you back more than $100? And the only reason I can is because there is more money out there. But if I borrowed all the money in the world, there's no way I could pay it all back plus more money. If there's 20 Picasso paintings in the world, because they're very rare, and there's only 20 of them left, let's just say, and I borrowed all of them, I cannot possibly pay you back the 20 Picassos plus another Picasso. I would have to, in order to give you interest, in order to pay you another Picasso on top of the 20 that originally existed, I would have to make fakes. I would have to print more. And they would be prints. They wouldn't be originals. And they wouldn't be backed by anything. And that's what we've got here. We've printed fake money in the hopes that no one would notice and people would just treat it as if it's valuable. And as we said earlier, the chickens have come home to roost. It's not. And there will come a time when, you take your dollar bill into the 7-Eleven and the Snickers bar is $1.07 with tax, and the clerk doesn't take it because it's not worth anything anymore. That could happen. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Maybe not in America, maybe not in our lifetime, but it could happen. It has happened in other countries. And so they got to fix the problem. So the only way to fix the problem is to have a backed currency, a currency backed by something that holds its value, like gold, silver, or Bitcoin, perhaps, or some other crypto. I don't know. Bitcoin seems to be the one. But the problem with crypto and government is that they don't really know who started it, who owns it, who controls it. They don't really understand it enough. This is why it's taken so long to get to this point. I think they are going in that direction. But, the kind of weird thing about XRP is Ripple is owned by somebody. There are founders and presidents and employees and, corporate people involved. But so what? The Federal Reserve is run by a handful of oligarchs and, maybe not oligarchs, but very wealthy families for 100 years now. And they're not federal. They're not the government. But they named themselves the Federal Reserve, so we just think it is, but it's not. It's no more federal than FedEx, Federal Express. So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen, guys, but I know that, I've been worried about it for a long time, but it might just now be getting ready to happen. The only thing you can do is try to make more money before it happens, try to accumulate more of the staple coins and the staple cryptos that are going to pump and rise during this time. And so they do have their ups and downs, and they can dump before they pump, but that's historically what they've been doing. They go up, make new all-time highs, they consolidate for a while, come back down, you get more of it, you wait, goes up higher. If you've been doing this since the beginning, like way back here for Bitcoin, if you would have bought here at $300, 10 Bitcoin, that would have been $3,060 right here. or right here, let's say you did that right here at $748. You bought 10 of them for $7,408. And then literally right after you did that, it drops all the way down to $460. So your $7,800 investment is now cut in half almost. $4,000. But if you just would have held it a little longer, it would have went up to $1,167. But right after that, it dropped all the way down to 760, cut in half. Then it went all the way up to 1,300 and so on and so forth. It's been doing this forever. Went all the way up to 19,000, dropped all the way back to 3,500. Then went up to 63,000, dropped all the way back down to 15,500. Then went all the way up to, 106,000. What's it going to drop to next? 30, 40? Doesn't matter because it just keeps making higher highs after that. So you just got to be able to hold it. And yeah, it's a long-term game to do that. So that's why we trade, so that we can accumulate more and make more on all the pumps and dumps rather than just ride this roller coaster for the next 20 years. Some of us don't have that long, right? So we want to get richer quicker. So we learn to trade so that we can scalp these and accumulate more while it's going down and while it's going up. And so we're growing our bag, so to speak, while we're dealing with these ups and downs and these fluctuations. That's what trading can do for you if you do it right. Obviously, you can lose money trading as well. So you got to know what you're doing. But that's why we recommend, and I recommend, and what I do is I do both. I'm buying and holding. I'm holding in various different platforms just to spread out my risk. I'm accumulating, I'm trading and trying to grow the amount of Bitcoin I have trading Bitcoin futures contracts on a Bitcoin margin. And then when I get a certain profit amount, I transfer that over to a wallet to get it out of my trading wallet so I don't risk it. And then I continue to trade with a certain amount to try to grow that. And then I send what I made over there. So I'm constantly growing the amount that I'm holding without having to buy more Bitcoin. But you can also buy more. There's nothing stopping you from doing that either. But rather than having to come out of pocket to get more of it, I'm trading to grow, to earn more rather than, because by the time Bitcoin does get to $1 million, I want to have a lot more of it, but I don't want to have to buy $1 million worth. Right? So that's kind of what we're doing here with the trading. And in the meantime, I'm giving you the overview of the whole market and what we're doing. And I know some people are like, well, what about, can you just give me a trade setup? Well, we're kind of in a little bit of a weird situation right now where Bitcoin is dropping and we got to figure out whether it's going to hold as support before we give a signal to go long or short. But it does look like it might be bouncing here, but is it temporary or not? So we got to wait. We got about, depends on what time frame you're on, but if you're on the daily time frame and we're looking at this on the daily, it looks like we're just coming down to retest this level. We got about 5 hours and 33 minutes left before this candle prints and the next candle starts. And we're going to see, is that candle going to continue down, or are we just double bottoming here on this upward trending support, which is probable. And I hope that's the case, because that would make sense. That's usually what happens when we hit this. We don't just bounce and go away. Look at this time. We came down and hit it. Boom. Hit it again. Boom. Hit it again. Boom. Before we finally bounced out. Look at this time. Boom. 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 Went below it even, and then before we climbed out. So very rarely do you just hit it and bounce out. This time we did. We dropped all the way down to it. Boom. And then wicked right up. So that's a long running support and resistance line, and we are hitting it right now, and we're double bottoming on it. And usually what happens is we bounce out. And so that's what I want to see happen. I know this is starting to look a little messy. Let me clean this up a little bit, get rid of the pi cycle for the minute. And let's look at the EMA, which is important, guys. We are below it right now, so that's not good. We did come up to it. Look at this. When we bounced and we came right up to it on the daily, we did not get back into it. So whenever we flip the EMA from being above it to below it, and then we bounce on it and can't get back above it. Well, this time we got above it, but we did not hold above it. Right here, we came back below it and we're holding as resistance. Generally speaking, that usually is very bearish, and that's lower lows. If we have a lower low than this, that's going to bring us down to this level right here, which is the 74.5 zone. And I'm going to put a little circle there just so we can see it. And yeah, we need to bounce here on this yellow line. We need to, it's okay that we wick through it like here, but we need to hold the support there like it is right now. It looks like it's doing, and we need to get out of here. And then I will be long again.
Hey Nico, are you in any XRP trades right now? I've been vacationing, so
I feel for you. I am. So let's see. I'm still in my long. Let me just go back and look. These are the trades I'm still in right now, guys. I'm in my long XRP. I did get closed out because I did move. Let's go back into the trade signal channel because I need to put an update in there because I did get stop losses hit on that drop right here. On the 28th, I put my current open positions. Bitcoin long, XRP long, ETH long. Those three got knocked out. I was in profit on these, so I did move my stop loss to break even, so I didn't lose any money. But on the ETH, I think I took a little bit of a hit.
yeah, I got stopped out on my XRP as well, and then my wife took my phone away for 3 days.
On my bigger XRP open position, I'm negative 1,700. I'm still in it because I did not get stopped out. And my stop loss is a little bit far away on that one because that's more of a longer term position that I was expecting to have some wild swings. I did reverse, once my BTC, I did reverse. Well, actually, I did not reverse. I shouldn't say that. I did put some shorts in as soon as we started dropping. I didn't post those as signals because it's highly risky, guys. They were leveraged. They were hedged because I was still in my long positions. So what I do is I'll put a short in just in case my longs can't hold. And as soon as my longs get taken out, I'm still in the short trying to make up the difference, but it's kind of risky. So it's if this goes back up, these will go negative and I'll be happy because I want it to go back up. So this is just in case it continues down.
Nico, I have a question.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin goes to the 74.5 zone, where do you think XRP is going to go?
It could be back to where like $2 to $1.80. Let's see. Let me go over and look. Hold on. XRP. I mean, this is the floor. We're at the floor. And I don't think we're going to see this $1.25 again. I think that was an anomaly for XRP, but certainly this whole range here, which could bring us down to 170, even all the way as low as 160, like this dip here. But we're still holding inside of this zone. And usually when we get into this zone, we bounce out. We get in, 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 we bounce out. We got in, we bounced, and we're kind of just double bottoming right here. I think we're going to bounce out of this downward trending this downward trending channel. I think we will. And I think XRP is going to break away and it's going to decouple from Bitcoin altogether, ultimately. And I think we're going to start heading up like this, back up to the top of this channel, and then eventually break out of this channel. That's going to be the big surprise and the big move on XRP. Bitcoin will go up as well when this happens, but I think XRP is going to break away eventually, just like some of the other alts. Ethereum.
I agree. Right now, what is the fear level?
I think we're in extreme fear right now. Let me go pull it up.
Somebody posted we were at 20.
There's a lot going on.
Yep. Extreme fear. Almost. We're in fear, but not quite extreme yet. And guess what? Guess what you do during that time? When there's blood in the streets,
Buy.
that's when you prepare to enter. You don't, I mean, you could be buying right now. That's dollar cost averaging. If you bought Bitcoin right now, I mean, it is low. It's in the 80s. If it drops into the 70s, you buy more. If it drops in the 60s, you buy more. If it drops down to 40, you buy more. That's dollar cost averaging. But see, what a lot of people do is they buy at 80 and it drops down to 70 and they panic sell. And they're like, oh shit, I don't want to lose money. So they sell it at 70. Then it drops down to 60 and they're like, oh, I'm glad I sold. And then it bounces from 60 all the way back up to 120. They should have done is bought more on the way down. Because if you bought some at 80, guys, and then you bought, let's just say, and I know you guys understand dollar cost averaging, but I'm going to say it for the people who don't. Let's just say you were able to buy a whole Bitcoin right now, 80K, and then it drops down to 70. Plus, you bought another one at 70K. And then it drops down to 60. Plus, you bought another one at 60K. You just invested $210,000. But you take that 210 and divide it by 3 purchases, and your average purchase price is 70K. So if it then shoots up to 120, this is your starting point now because of the dollar cost averaging. And if it keeps going down 50, 40, and you bought 2 more whole Bitcoins, that's $300,000 divided by 5. Then your average purchase price is 60 now, 60,000. And that's the counterintuitive way that people get rich, and they just do the opposite of what the masses are doing. And it's the same thing with everything, guys. It's not just investing, it's everything. Dieting, getting in shape physically. You don't feel like working out, do it anyway. Do the opposite of what you feel like doing. If you want results that 99% of people don't get. So it can be scary though. Trust me, I know it doesn't matter. Even if you know this stuff, it can get a little frightening when you see a big drop. But you know, people in this group like Bill and myself, and I mean, we would love to have another crack at Bitcoin at 30K one more time.
Amen. That would be the greatest day.
And a lot of people don't think it's possible for that to happen again, but it is. No one thought we were going to 15.5 after 68K in the last bull market. But I'm not saying that that's going to happen, guys. I'm just saying it's possible. And, you know, and what would it take for that to happen is a domino effect of fear in the market. But, the whales and the institutions, I promise you, they're waiting for you to get fearful. They're waiting to take all your crypto. And if they want it, then you should still want it, and you should keep it, and you should keep buying more on the way down. Why do they want it? Why would they just now open 5 huge ETFs for XRP? For no reason? You think that they think that the price is going to stay at $2?
They want the fees.
And they know it's going to go up too. I mean, guys, when they started the Bitcoin ETFs, Bitcoin was what? 73,000. And yes, they're selling Bitcoin now because they're hedge funds. Those are ETFs. They have to look out for the investors. So when Bitcoin hits 120, 126, starts to come down 118, 115, they sell billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And guess what they do? They move it into the next ETF. What's that? XRP. They're not stupid. They know their goal is to make money. So maybe you can learn something by them and just do what they're doing. So, we got about 20 minutes to the onboarding call. So I know that we didn't have a webinar. We did not have a webinar, but we still probably got some new people that need to get on onboarding. If you missed last week's onboarding, and you're relatively new, or even if you did get on one, but you need a refresher, Bill's going to have an onboarding call coming up here at 2:00. I highly recommend you get on it. And even if you've been on one before, you guys should do it. And what I'm looking at here, guys, is we're just on the floor again. That's all. We're down here in the mud. And all I can say, and it should be obvious to you, every time we've been down here, we've climbed out. Even this time when we wicked way down to here, we immediately climbed out and we came all the way back up to here very quickly. So we can, and whenever there's a huge whipsaw action like this, we usually end up back in the same trend we were in. So what we're waiting for is a breakout here of the downward trending resistance. Put yourself on the weekly or the daily time frame. Draw the top if you want on XRP. Draw the top from the top. I have this as a price range from like $3.35 all the way up to $3.66. That's the top. And then the bottom, I have a price range between $2.07, pretty much all the way down to $1.77. That's the range. I don't really need this. I can do this. Don't need that bottom one. And we're in it. We're just kind of in it right now. And we actually bounced out of it right here. We bounced out of it and then we fell out of this bullish flag. And now we're kind of back in it again. So where can we go? We could double bottom here or here, somewhere down here in the $1.80 range. We're at $1.99 right now. We just crested the $2 range on XRP. And then bounce back up. But we need that. We will eventually get out of this downward trending channel and break out. Where? I mean, this is the month, guys. This is usually the month where we see explosive moves to the upside. I have a feeling this is going to happen. So just be ready. Anywhere you buy down here is a good price. I mean, guys, I don't really think you're going to see under $2 XRP ever again once we do break out of this. Once we get above that 350 range, I don't think it's ever coming back because before this was this way down here. We were way down here. And we come up to this level. Once we break out of this level and get above here, we're going to come up to a new level, $5, let's just say. And then what? We might be in this level for a little while. It's just the way it goes. We'll be holding a support here at the previous high and resistance up here at the new high. And it's just a continuation of an upward trend, which looks like this. As things continue to go up higher. And we get to these different levels. $7.50, $10. And we will hit all these levels, guys. So why even worry? It's going to get there. Just keep accumulating more of it. I mean, man, at $100 XRP, some of you are going to be I know you are because I've already had private talks with you, and I know that some of you have tens of thousands of it. I know I will be. I'm not gonna risk it. This is the chance that the average person has. Whenever someone I know, a friend, a relative who's not big into crypto, they don't really understand it much, they just ask me, hey, what should I buy? What do you think about Pepe? What do you think about Dogecoin? I'm like, just buy XRP and go back to work. Just buy XRP. Why? What's up with XRP? Like, they don't know anything about anything. But I can't sit there and educate everybody that they don't even take the time to understand things. So I just tell them, listen, do it or don't. But that's my advice to you. Just remember what I just said 5 years from now. And I've had already so many people, good friends of mine, that I know you told me to buy Bitcoin when it was $800. I know you told me to buy it when it was 1,000, when it was 1,200. And a good friend of mine, Billy Norwood, not Billy Womack, but Billy Norwood, he didn't start buying Bitcoin and investing in Bitcoin until it was like 80 grand. And I told him at 800. He just didn't believe it. He just didn't understand it. And I told him, and by the way, I was sitting at a table with him and two other friends, and my other friend Terry bought 10 of them when I told him when it was 800. He bought 10 of them for $8,000. And he still has them, and he's very happy that he listened to me. And these people are not in crypto people. They have businesses. They're just taking a chance. But Terry's $8,000 investment turned into a 1.26 million at one point. Now it's, down a little bit, still up 10x though, 800,000. So this is a long-term game. This is a long game, guys, that you're playing here with crypto, but it's not really long. It's not like a lifetime. So there's short-term gains with the scalping and the day trading and the swing trades that Chad and I do and other members of this group do. And by the way, we're bringing some other very smart traders in to start having classes with you guys. I mean, having live calls with you in addition to what we're doing here. In addition to my calls and Chad's calls, we got a couple other leaders that are going to be stepping up just to bring more value to the group and show you their strategies, people who are consistently killing it. And so you can make money that way, grow your account that way, but also you want to be accumulating certain things because there will come a time when you're going to look back and say, oh shit, I should have bought more of that. I know they said to, but I was just waiting. I was waiting for the price to drop a little more. That's what everybody says. Oh, waiting for Bitcoin to go back down to 10K, back when it was 20K in the last bull market and it dropped down to 15.5. It never went to 10K. And they never bought it because they just thought it was going to go down lower. So you don't try to time the market like that, guys. That's why Michael Saylor just buys at the exact time every month. He doesn't care what the price is. He's not in it for the short term, and he's still up billions right now. Now, I'm not saying Michael Saylor's in a good position right now because he could be screwed if he can't keep his listings on in the stock market with MicroStrategies, but he's way over leveraged. He doesn't think he is, but I mean, Bitcoin may need to come down to 20 or 30K for that to happen. But some people say 80K, below 80K, he's going to have to start selling. All right, so that's what I got for you today. We got about 15 minutes for the next call. It's $1.99 on XRP, and Bitcoin is at 84.7, floundering a little bit. It's still in a downward trending channel. It is kind of it is below the line it needs to get above. I mean, this blue line is the most recent upward trending channel. If I go back to this chart here, it's the yellow line, which we're bouncing on right now. This is the one that goes all the way back to 2011. And but when we pumped here, guys, before we just fell back off the cliff, we were hitting the bottom of the EMA ribbon right here. And so it is bearish in the short term, but we'll see what happens here, guys. I will keep you posted. Any other questions before we wrap it up?
Yes, Nico. How long do we have for the Optio nodes deal?
Oh, yeah.
Runs out.
Yeah, let me cover that. Well, I haven't heard back from Billy yet. I know he's in meetings. He told me on Monday. I did send him a voice message and a couple texts this morning to you talking about the buy one get one?
Yes.
I think he said, well, it already expired and they extended it just for us, but I think 7 days, I think he said. So it already ended, but they extended it for us. Now, someone in the group said that they tried it and their code wasn't working. Yeah, Bob, 7 to 10 days is what people are saying in the group.
7 to 10 days from when?
From our call, which was Wednesday, right? Our
Okay.
Wednesday call. So this week, I would say, guys, I would say sooner the better if you can.
And what is the coupon code or the
Okay, so let me go into our group here, guys. It's all spelled out here. If we go into the ICO channel, scroll up. I should have pinned this. I don't know. You got to scroll up to my post up here. Where is it? Right here. It was from the 28th. Read this entire post over a few times before proceeding. Everyone in this group, when they order, make sure to put the order notes. In the order notes, you type in renegade, plural, singular, no, not plural, not crypto renegades, just renegade, the way it's here, the way it's written here. If you get 10 or more, if you get 1 to 10, don't worry about anything else. But if you get 10 or more, when you go to checkout, there is a coupon code. They need to type in node guy, and you need to do it just like this. Capital NODE, capital GUY, node guy, all one word. Or they will not get the BOGO, the buy one, get one free. So what does it look like? You click on that link down here, takes you to the order page. Add to cart. If you want the buy one, get one free, you're gonna put this all the way up to 10 or more, however many you're buying. You see the total down here is 10,000. View cart. 1,000 times 10, right here, add coupons. This is where you type it in, the node guy.
Gotcha.
NODEGUY. Apply. Now, someone's saying that we're having a problem doing this. I just applied it. It says coupon node guy cannot be applied because it does not exist. Just do it anyway. Just leave it like that. I think that's what happened when I did it anyway. It's not a normal coupon code, but I think it goes in there so that they can see it on their end and they'll know it was from us. But before you even get to that, over here in the notes is where you type in, you go to checkout. Right here, after you put in all your information down here, you put in add a note to your order. That's when you put in renegade. And then right up here, you add the coupon node guy. Okay.
So it's renegade and node guy. Okay.
Yeah. And just follow the instructions in here because I have it step by step. Here
Gotcha.
it is. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And then you're going to set up a simple cloud, which is where you're hosting the nodes. If you get 10 or more, it's $29.95 a month. If it's just 1 to 10, I believe it's $9.95 a month. That's where you're hosting the node. And if you just do it in the right order, guys, it's pretty simple. You buy the nodes, then you go here. And when you go here, it's going to look like this. And it's going to try to find, let me see if I can. Just see what it looks like because mine is still not showing. Still, as of this morning, it didn't find it yet. But then you're gonna, once you set up your account with this and you pick your payment option, whether it's the $29 or the $9, then it's going to simple will automatically connect to blockchain partners and find full node licenses associated with your email address. Billy did say it could take a couple days for everything to be entered in and for it to show in here. So as of right now, it says obtaining license, but the last couple of times I tried, it said it could not find them yet. So he just told me to be patient. See right now, my nodes active 0 of 0, no license found. Please click the link to initiate the deployment process of your nodes. And you just keep clicking that until it finally finds them. But right now he said, give it a couple of days. So that's where we're at. I haven't seen mine in there yet either. And I spent 10 grand. So I don't like that.
Thank you.
I don't like that.
Thank you, Nico.
Long. Yeah, you're welcome. I don't like that it takes so long either. Kind of drives me crazy when things are like that, but it is what it is. That's the process that they have. He did say that on the live call. that it could take, a couple days. In fact, in the description, if we go back to here where I typed it, I think he did say, and then check blah, 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 needs to be about 24 hours before the server will be able to locate your nodes with your credentials. Within 2 days, your distributions will start. It's been longer than 24 hours for me. So then I texted him, he said, give it a couple days. It was the weekend. It was the holiday weekend. It was Thanksgiving. It was the day after Thanksgiving Friday. And he said it's being done manually because of our special that he offered for us. So everybody who's using his, Node Guy code and Renegades, that's all being done manually. So it's going to take longer for us than I guess the average person who just bought them without any discounts or any referrals or anything like that. So, of course, one of the things is here is you go to Kaivo, you're going to search the wallet Kaivo on your app store, and this is what it looks like. So this is where you're going to open up your crypto wallet. And this is where the nodes, once they start generating the Optio, you can transfer it from the node into your cold storage wallet. So follow those instructions. If you have any questions, ask it below here. Here's all kinds. And then below that post, guys, here's another post with all the links to all the different articles and the founder talking. This is the founder who, talking about what this is all going to be used for and how you're going to make money and all this kind of stuff. So watch all that. And there's a lot more information here. But if you have any questions, just ask it down here and we'll respond to you in there.
Hey, Nico, can you pin all those important posts that you put on so we don't have to go through all the
I pinned
posts?
I pinned the first one just a minute ago. I can
Thanks,
pin
Phil.
any others. Yeah.
Thank you. Pinned messages up here. There it is. Just come up to pinned and there it is. Okay. All right, guys, I got to run. I got another call coming up at 2 right on the dot. So I will keep you posted here. It does look like we are in a strange little consolidation period here where we did drop. Obviously, we dropped out of this upward trending support and we are kind of slowly trending down. But where are we trending down to? Probably just to the next. Could be the double bottom here at the 80K, 80,500 range or the next downward trending support. But as soon as I think we're bouncing, I'll be letting you know because I'll be re-entering long and I will post long signals. If I think we break below that, I did say that if we drop below the 90, which is up here, this blue line. No, I'm sorry, that's not it. This red line, which we did do right here. When we fell out of this on my last live call, I said, if we fall below 90 and retest and hold, in other words, we come up and retest 90 and fall, I will be shorting. Now, we did not come up and retest it yet, but I know I'm pretty sure we will because that was major support and resistance level. And however, if we just keep falling and we get down to 80, 85, I expect, 80,500, I expect to bounce. That's where we double bottom. That's where we hit here. That would be a double bottom. And obviously we don't bounce there and we might not come up to retest the 90, then I'll be shorting anyway, but I'll let you know. You can draw your little downward trending channel lines here because that's kind of the little channel that we're in right now as we speak. So that could come all the way down to here, but if we break out of this to the upside, then we could be on our way back up. This might have just been a temporary drop, and it is hitting this consolidation zone right here. There is a couple things that it's hitting right here. We have resistance right here and support here, and we are bouncing on it right now. We wicked below it, but we did come back above it, so we're kind of holding right there. So it's possible that we bounce out of here at 85K. This is where we're holding right now, 85,000. But it's a watch and see, guys. This is not a, hey, what's the signal? This is a wait and see because we're too close to potentially the point of no return, and we're also close enough to bounce back in to where we need to be. So I want to wait and see before I give a signal on that. It would be irresponsible for me to be posting signals when we're kind of on the line of where we need to stay above. Someone said, when's a good time to buy XRP? Is it time to buy XRP or are we waiting? Yes, anything under $2, Stacy, is buy time. If it goes lower, buy more. If it goes lower, buy more. If it goes lower, buy more. But I think anything under $3 is a bargain compared to where it's going in the near future. Yep, your wait is over, Norman says. You're waiting for under $2, your wait is over. Chris, what is going on with not being able to pay with credit or debit? I did not know you couldn't do that. I used a credit card. There was no problem. I'm going to get to the bottom of these questions here today, and I will post it in the group. When I have it, I'll give a video or an audio update. As far as using crypto, someone asked if they can send a little amount to see if it goes through. I wouldn't know how to test that, to be honest with you. I don't know who you would have to confirm it with on the blockchain, or that it was received, unless you buy a whole node. If you buy a whole node for $1,000 and then it shows up in your wallet, then you know it went through. But you'd have to risk $1,000 to see if your Bitcoin worked. So let me get some answers on that first before you do that. I would like to be using Bitcoin. Any addition? And I will find out. I will get the answer to that. Instructions work. Thank you, Steve. All caps? No. I don't know what you mean by all caps. No or on? Oh, no, only cap N and cap G. I see what you mean now. All right. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Any other questions, just ask in the main chat or get on Bill's basics call coming up, or onboarding rather. Even if you're not new, you can get on the onboarding call and ask questions to Bill. Bill has answers. All right, guys. All right.
Nico, could you hear me?
Yes.
Nico, this is George Lopez.
Hey, George.
I hope you're doing good. Listen, I just got on just now. I had all troubles with my computer, okay? I want to get 10 of the nodes, and I sent you a personal message yesterday. First off, I wanted to put the 10 nodes, $10,000 on 2 different credit cards, and it doesn't seem like I could do it. So finally, I decided to put it on 1 credit card, but every time I put in the coupon code node guide, no matter how I do it, it's not going through. And I really want to do this, and I'm sorry that I came in late to talk to you.
No problem. We've went over this a couple times on this call, so you can watch the replay if you want. I'm going to post it now, but I am going to get with the guy, and I just got your message. The reason why I didn't see it is because we weren't friends. You sent me a message request. We weren't friends on Discord, but I accepted it, and so I'm looking at your message now in Discord, and I will respond to you. Hold tight on that. As far as that coupon code, it might have been just allowing it for the first, couple days. I don't know. He did say 7 to 10 days, but I don't know why it's not right now. But I will get to the bottom of these questions that you guys have, because you're not the only one, about that coupon code. Because obviously they want you guys to buy. They want you to get as many as possible. And so the fact that it's not going through is concerning. And I have my own concerns because I bought on Friday night, or Saturday morning rather, I can't remember, 10 myself with a credit card, and I didn't have any problem using a credit card. And I know other people in here did already too, but someone's telling me they're having a problem. Chris, are you on right now? You say it's not working with a credit card or debit card, or your credit card declined it? Because that could be as well. You might need to call your credit card company. Mine did. I had to call them. They're like, "What are you buying here for $10,000?"
Anyway, Nico, the other thing is I would like to know if I could split it on 2 credit cards. There's, if I can, I'll get it on 1, but it helped me a lot if I could split it on 2 cards. I was afraid that if I do that, I'll lose and I won't get the 10 free.
Yeah.
Or if I put the order through without it, I look, I don't have a lot of money, and what I'm saying is, getting 10 free makes all the difference in the world, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. And you should be able to do it that way, but I don't think the system is automatically set up for you to buy 5 and then 5, and it recognizes that you bought 10 all at once. So I'm going to check on that for you, George. I appreciate the question. I got your question in the Discord as well. So I will check on that for you. And who else did I get a message from? Sorry to bother you. I'm pretty concerned about the transaction. Said it timed out and did not get sent, but it's showing up on the blockchain that it went to the address for the nodes. Not sure what to do. So K-Web, you on? All right, I will just message this person. All right, guys, we'll get to the answer. We'll get to the bottom of this. So hold tight, George and K Webb. I'm not sure. I call you K Webb because that's the way you have it written.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate you.
Yeah, George, I'll respond to you right now, just so you know I saw your message, and I'll get you an answer on that as soon as I hear back from Billy today. But I know he's working on it. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Don't worry, we'll get it straightened out one way or another. Worst case scenario, we're going to get a refund. Worst case scenario, but that's not going to happen because, this is a big thing, and they got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars pouring into this thing right now. So I think it should be really good. And like I said before, it is a risk. It's not. Don't risk more than you can afford to lose, guys. I'm not. That's why I put it on a credit card, to protect myself against any misuse, right? But at the same time, I get a lot of rewards on my credit card. So, all right, Daryl. Follow the instructions in the pin post in the ICO group channel. But if you have any questions, just ask it in that channel. If you have any help, if you need any help. But I'm going to get all the answers I can as far as if the buy one get one promo is still on, and why the Node Guy coupon code isn't working for some, but it does for others, and why the credit card isn't working for some, but it does for others. But I will tell you this: it could be your credit card company that's blocking the order. So if you're declining or it's not going through, check with your bank. I had to call mine. They had a fraud alert on it when I did it, because I don't know, for whatever reason, because it was an online order and it was a lot of money. So they're doing that for your protection to make sure you're not getting ripped off. So just let them know it was you, and they'll usually unfreeze that so you can make the transaction happen. Oh, Chris, you're saying credit card was not an option anymore. You had to wire? Just wired, transfer, or crypto. Okay, I'll check into that and see why that is. All right, guys, I'll find out. I'll get those answers today, and I'll get back to you in the group. I got another call I got to jump on, but have a great rest of your day. I'll give you updates on any signals that I see on the crypto front, but also get the answers for the node thing as well. All right, have a great rest of your day. And George, go watch the replay because you missed about